Welcome back to As Told by Gabby. I know it's been a very long time and I'm sorry. It's literally been since like March 2021 and I definitely plan to make more videos, make more podcast episodes in 2021. I planned to do it and then life just got busy. Life got in the way and I did not prioritize it. So I'm sorry and thank you for being patient with me. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to come back and I knew I wanted to come back in the new year. I just didn't know when to start. And so since last year I waited till February, this year I said let's do it again. One, because I was fasting in January, so I said, you know, I want to be kind of prepared for whatever January holds, and I want to be prepared for the rest of the year. So that meant to me that I wanted to take a break from, you know, everything else going on, whether it's preparation for my business, which I'll talk about a little later, or, you know, my podcast, YouTube, everything. It can be a lot going into a new year. Just to throw it all at once, it can be very overwhelming. So I said, you know, let's take a break, Gabby. Let's be patient. Let's listen to God. Let's trust Him. And let's just wait it out. And then in February, let's hit the ground running. And let's do it like we haven't done it before. So here we are. I'm giving it another try. And I'm excited because I know that this is going to be awesome. I know that this is going to be different. And hopefully it'll be a blessing to someone's life. Hopefully it'll be a blessing in a new way to anyone who has already heard my podcast episodes or seen my YouTube videos. It's different this time around. I'm gonna be very honest, very transparent and very vulnerable, because I feel like that's the only way that this will actually work, that my story will actually be shared, and that someone will actually be blessed. I don't want to be fake with people. I don't want to come off as trying to hide anything, because that's not what's going to help people. Sharing your story is so important. Sharing your unfiltered story is so important. So that's what I'm trying to do now, and I believe that's really the essence of my show, As Told by Gabby. Like, it shouldn't be As Told by Gabby with edits, you know, with little pieces to plug that aren't true. It should be As Told by Gabby according to what I've experienced, what I've learned, you know, and the people that I've experienced things with, or the people that I've learned and have become friends with and developed relationships with. So I'm excited for this new chapter of this show, and I'm excited to give it my all. When I first started the show in 2020, you know, it was right after George Floyd had died, and I wanted to do excuse me, I wanted to do something important. I wanted to do something serious, and I wanted people to have a place where they could come and talk and be honest about how they felt about everything going on. And I thought that a podcast show would be the place to do it, and I think it served its purpose. I think it really did. And throughout those few months, I started doing different conversations on different topics in regards to race in America, and it was powerful. And people still revisit those episodes today. So if you were on, you know, one of those episodes, if you were in the discussion, thank you for sharing your voice. And I'm going to do that again. It's so important. It's just so important, and it's not something that we can push to the side. I believe people really learn from hearing other people listen and from other people's experiences and sharing their stories. So I know that this platform can be a space for that, and I'm going to work hard to continue doing that. So this is the first episode of 2022. Happy New Year, and I am excited to just get into it. As I did last year, my first episode of the year was 20 lessons I learned in 2020. So this year's episode, of course, is 21 lessons I learned in 2021, or 21 things I learned in 2021. And I think I'm going to do this for the next few years, however long I decide to commit to YouTube and podcasting. I just think taking a moment to reflect and giving yourself time and space to reflect is important. You know, taking that month off to examine what 2021 was important for me. And so here we are, and I'm excited to just get it started and to just share the different things that I learned, and hopefully maybe they cross over with what you've learned. Hopefully they'll help you as you're learning new things this year or as you've gone through things in your past. But whatever it does for you, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the community, and I hope that this blesses you in some way. All right, so lesson number 1 is wait on the Lord. This was really 2021 was my trust and wait year. At the beginning of the year, I was already really over my job. I was looking for new jobs, and at that time I had already done just a year and a half at my current workplace, and I was done. I was fed up. 2020 was a lot, especially working from home and adjusting to that switch. Working from home is a blessing. It really is. But at the same time, working a job where you're on the phone all day, and then at 5 o'clock you want to relax and you really can't because you're just burned out, is taxing. It did a lot to my spirit. And so at the end of 2020, I said, I'm not going to stay here much longer. I am going to figure this out and I'm going to leave. And I did not. And the story behind all of that is a blessing alone. And I'm going to get, deeper into that maybe in this episode or maybe in the next one. But the year was truly just wait on the Lord. He has a plan. And I also learned that in regards to just my overall life beyond work, whether it was dating or, family situations or different things that I was just trying to understand. I really had to let go of my own understanding and trust that God was going to come through like he has always. So wait on the Lord. It became my phrase of the year through the song Wait on the Lord by Maverick City Music. And if you haven't heard any of their music, it is ridiculously life-changing. Just listen to one album, just listen to a few clips on YouTube, watch the worship and just experience it and let it marinate in your soul and just see the difference that it will make in your heart just in a few minutes. It's so powerful. I went to one of their concerts in October, and it was just, the presence of the Lord was in the Barclays Center. That's all I gotta say. The Holy Spirit was there. It was moving. People were worshiping together in just a beautiful way. It was just so amazing and so needed in the time and in the moment. And so in the song, there's one point, towards the end where they sing and recite Isaiah 40, verse 31. And it says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And that scripture is so powerful. If you ever have a moment where you need just an affirmation over your life and you are sick of waiting, you're sick of being patient, let that scripture be the scripture you run to. Let that scripture marinate in your soul and let it change your perspective on your current situation. God has been so good. Every day is a blessing. Every moment is a blessing. The good and the bad. Just being able to change your mindset about it and to trust him and to wait on him changes the whole experience of what you're going through, changes the whole situation. So that's my encouragement for you. If this is going to be your wait on the Lord year, then trust him and be patient. I believe all of us have some area in our lives where we're waiting on God to give us an answer, to, answer our prayer, to show us which way to go. And the wait can be hard, but the wait can be so necessary. It's the process. It's the journey. Throughout it, God is doing something new. He is changing your heart. He's changing your mind, and he's preparing you for what is next. So waiting on him patiently and diligently and with a good heart can change everything about the situation that you're in, everything about the circumstance, everything about the space and the environment. Lesson number 2, and I'm trying not to be too crazy long with my explanations for these lessons because some things don't need to have a lot of explanation. Some things just need to be said and that's it. And I learned that from Ricky Thompson. But just kidding. Lesson number 2 is it's possible to have real friends again. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody, I promise y'all. It's just I've gone through a lot of friend breakups in my past few years, and you know, it happened right after college, and I had to learn who was a real friend, who was not. And so for a while it took me kind of hard to trust people. It took me a little hard to really, you know, say like, okay, like, yeah, we'll hang out, you know, more often, we'll hang out often and more than like, you know, once a month. It became a little difficult for me to trust different people. So I, you know, got involved in a church where I really became friends with some girls that I love with my whole heart. And God taught me it's really possible to have true friends who will, you know, stick up for you, will love you, will pray for you. And I'm just blessed that I've had, you know, sisterhood beyond my sister cousins or, you know, my best friend Kajal, who I've known since we were in middle school. I'm just blessed to have other sisters who know God and who want to develop their relationship with God and who can pray. It makes a difference when you have a friend who can pray. You know that they want the best for you. They know, you know that there's someone that you can go to and just be with and just laugh with, and it makes a big difference. So that's all I have to say about that. Lesson 3, love doesn't come through materialistic things. Those things can help you show love, but they can't be the source of your love. And alright, so now we're gonna get into this little conversation about my love life. And I am excited about it because my love life has been beautiful and great. And I'm just so happy and blessed. So at the beginning of 2021, I was dating. I went on a few different dates and I had met some guys through like Bumble. And I thought it was cool. I met some really interesting guys. I met a photographer. I met, what did the other guy do? I met 2 photographers. I met, a chef. Yeah. So those dates were fun. They were cool. But one thing that I learned, you know, while I was dating those guys, and it felt like money was just like the biggest thing. However they could like please me, you know, with an expensive dinner or date or like an expensive outing, like going to a couple museums in a day, or, you know, feeding me really great food. So I'm grateful, I'm blessed for those experiences. And I think, you know, it was an honor to be treated that way. However, I don't think that I needed those things in order for me to further develop my relationship with them. And honestly, I think that's where the relationships went down, because, or the whatever was forming went down or didn't work out, because you know, most time through the dates it felt great, and I was really looking to date a Christian man, because my ex-boyfriend, he was not Christian. I'll be straight up and honest. His mother was, his dad was not, and so he grew up in like a Christian household kind of, but his relationship with God was not what I was looking for. And as much as I tried to help him in his walk, it was a walk that he did not want to pursue. So sometimes you can pray for people, but you can't hold their hand and, you know, lead them into something that they don't want to be a part of. And so I had to leave it with God. And so for my next relationship, I told myself, you're going to look for, or you're going to be found by, or you're just going to be in a Christian relationship with someone who knows the Lord. And so a couple of the guys that I dated, they knew God, or they were getting to know God more, or they were coming back to a relationship with God. And so it was awesome to be in that realm of things, because my relationship with God had been strengthening. You know, 2019 was a big year for me with my faith. Then 2020, that strengthened me a lot. So 2021, I said, all right, here we go. I've got my faith on lock, and I'm just ready to grow with someone who, you know, feels the same way about God. And so it was beautiful to date Christian men who were trying to know him, who were desiring to know God in a new way. You know, whether it was at a meal, we would pray, and it was just kind of like exciting to me, really beautiful to see and experience. And it was fresh, it was new. So I really enjoyed the dates, but they were just dates that through conversation, the person and I just didn't have any sort of connection or deeper click. So I just kind of let those things go. And so last year I was really close to having a Valentine, and like a week or two before Valentine's Day, I just kind of had to be honest with the guy who I was seeing that I just didn't feel anything further than, you know, us being friends. But it was a blessing to like have developed a friendship with that person for just a couple of weeks, and to encourage them, because they were, you know, getting back into their own endeavors. And so they encouraged me, I encouraged them, and that was all that it really was. But once Valentine's Day came around, I was actually home in Maryland, and it was awesome. I spent it with my nieces and my brother, and I ended up just treating myself to a beautiful day. I cooked brunch for my nieces. I ordered myself flowers, and it was so cute. Like I put on a card. I was like, "Happy Valentine's Day, darling." Something about like loving yourself, like always love yourself, love Gabrielle. And so more things like that. Like I love little special things like that. So I will definitely be treating myself, you know, more and more. But I didn't see any connection there with those guys. And I think the money factor, you know, was probably something to do with it. Like I always felt like the date just became more about what we were doing rather than what we were like talking about. So yeah, but it was okay because I had to be patient. I just had to wait a couple more months, which leads me into lesson number 4, which is you didn't have to search for true love all these years. It was always here and was always waiting for you to accept it. So I want to do an episode about my current love life, because it's a really cool and unique story. But just to share a little, I'm currently in a relationship with a man that I love so very much. And if you're watching this, I love you. But anyways, the story is just so cute because we were childhood friends. Our families went to the same church together, and at a young age, you know, right before like middle school, his family moved across the country, and so we lost connection. And before he left, like we were just so close whenever like our families would hang out. Like we would always just, it was just me and him. So when they moved, we lost connection. And then in college, he hit me up through DM, and I was just shook because I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this really you? I haven't seen you in years. And it was like, whoa, like I'm getting older, you're getting older, so now we see each other at this age after not seeing each other for so long. So you know, we were interested in each other, but we were both doing our own things on our separate coasts. I was out here in New York, he was in California, and also at the time he was in a relationship, so it wasn't something that I could further pursue. I just wasn't gonna be that girl, and he wasn't, you know, trying anything in the regards to like get rid of his relationship either. So we both respected each other and what our separate lives had going on. So we just kept in touch a little bit here and there. And then over the course of the years, you know, every once in a while we would respond to each other's Instagram stories or something, and I didn't see much of it because I was dating someone over here, or I was seeing someone over here, and he was probably seeing someone out there. So I just kind of like let it pass. And then literally right after my birthday, I just gave it a chance. Like, I responded to one of the story responses, and we exchanged numbers, and then I put the number in my phone, and I realized I had his number this whole time for like years. And so it was just like this aha moment. And the first phone call that we had after like not talking in years was probably for like 3.5 hours. And mind you, there's time difference, so like we were just talking and talking and talking, and then after that every conversation was the same, and it's been that way now for about, like, we're about to hit 6 months of dating. So it's just been so beautiful, and he's really God sent. Like, I know that this is it for me, and I'm so happy and I'm so blessed. I'm just honored. My love life, my love story is unique. It hasn't always been the best, and for God to have done this is just like, okay, God, I hear you, I see you. I'm sorry for making so many wrong turns, and I'm sorry for making so many bad decisions, but I'm grateful that they didn't cancel me out for having this specific spot right now and this place in my life. So I'm just so grateful. I'm overwhelmed at times, but I'm just honored and blessed. So yeah, another episode or video coming about that soon, and maybe I'll get him to record something with me next time we're together, but we'll see. Okay, so I don't want this episode or video to be crazy long, but I mean, because it's a recap of the year, I'm going in depth a little bit more than I was planning to, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a great video. I've got my iced coffee, and we are just chugging along. This thing was full when I first started, so as you can see, I like iced coffee. This is helping me as well stay awake. A little ASMR for y'all. So lesson 5, there's power in your testimony. I shared, you know, a little bit about this when I first started the episode, but I think there's so much power in sharing your story unfiltered, you know, just being honest and vulnerable about the things that you've experienced, the things that you've been through. It's powerful. It can change someone else's life. So I want to do more of that this year. Last year I had some opportunities to share my testimony, a few of my testimonies, because my life is full of them. My life is full of miracles. My life is full of blessings. So I had the opportunity to share a few of them, and the first time that I was asked to share my testimony last year was probably in April. I had gone to Florida with a couple of friends to visit a church, and we were eating dinner, and someone was like, let's just go around and share our testimonies. And it really put on a light bulb in my head, because I was like, why don't we do this more often? Like, why don't we share our stories more often? There's so much power there. There's so much beauty there. There's so much help there. So when we were sharing, I was just amazed by everyone's story. You really don't know someone until they share their story with you. And when they share it with you, it's just so beautiful. You look at the person differently, and you see them for what they've gone through and what they've been able to overcome, and it's powerful and it's beautiful and it's encouraging. So I want to do that more this year. I want to be honest with my episodes. I want to be honest in my videos, and it might get a little, you know, sad. It might get a little hard for me to share these things, but it's going to be good for me. It's going to help me grow, and hopefully it'll help someone else as well. Lesson number 6, Wellness Wednesday can be every day. So Wellness Wednesday, if you don't know what it is, it started in 2020 for me, and it was about just prioritizing Wednesday each week. It's the halfway point, and you should celebrate yourself for making it halfway. And so each Wednesday I told myself, okay, you'll eat 3 meals a day. You will order yourself a meal if you really want to, and you will clock out at 5 p.m. You will maybe go outside for a walk. You know, you'll service your body, as my friend Sasha says. You will maybe read a book, maybe take a bath, watch a really good movie, eat something really good. You're just going to treat yourself on Wednesday because you deserve it. And I've even made a few playlists of music that I listen to on Wednesday specifically, because those songs just get me in a good mood. They help me get through the day, and they give me peace of mind. So over the course of last year, I was like, okay, so Wellness Wednesday happens, then Thursday comes, and Thursday I'm trying to put all that same energy into the day. And I was able to, really accomplish that certain days or certain weeks. And so then after Thursday, I would say, okay, Friday's here. Let me try to do it on Friday too. And I would be able to do that too. And then the weekend would come, and, for certain weekends, I was able to do that as well. So I said to myself, Wellness Wednesday can be every day of the week. Like, it does not have to be just on Wednesday. Your wellness needs to take priority every day of the week. Maybe you won't be able to clock out at 5 every day of the week. That's understandable. But if you can do something to treat yourself well each day, you're taking care of yourself. You are prioritizing you. You're watching out for you. You're watching out for your health. And it's important. It is so important. You don't want to get to a point where you're being burned out and then you decide to take care of yourself. You want to be able to make the decision for yourself that this is what I'm going to do because I love myself and I want to grow. I want to be who I'm supposed to be. And the only way I can do that and the only way I can get things done is by taking care of me. So I'm trying to do that more often. I think I've been doing pretty well. Sometimes I'll take a bath on a random Monday night, random Saturday night. And, I'm trying to cook more often. I'm trying to minimize eating out as much. But I honestly think I'm doing all right. And my boyfriend, he said that this year is his wellness year. So we're going to do this together. I'm excited. Okay, lesson 7, I wrote, your voice is back. Use it to glorify the Lord. By that, I meant my singing voice, but my voice in speaking, yes, it's back as well. I never lost that voice. But in regards to singing, when I was younger, my voice was really big. It was powerful, and I would, sing at school. I would sing in choir. And then in college, I did a cappella. I felt like in college my voice wasn't as strong as it was when I was younger. And it was concerning me because, there were different songs that I wanted to sing or wanted to solo. And looking back, I'm like, okay, Gabby, that didn't matter. But there were different things that I was like, why can't I hit this note anymore? Why can't I do this little run? And some of the runs I could never have done anyways, but it were just different things, and I felt like I was losing belief in myself from my voice, from my singing voice. And I've always loved my voice. I've always loved singing because it's special. It's a cool thing that you can do. It's just different. The ability to sing. And if you can't sing, or if you say you can't sing, I always tell people, you guys can sing. You just sing in a different way. That's it. Everyone sings in a different way, and that's all. like, you can sing, okay? Everyone has a voice to sing. So when my voice was, weak, I lost some of my self-esteem. I did not feel as confident in myself. And it's kind of funny to look back and think about, but it's like, my voice, I found so much confidence in my voice when I was younger. People knew me for my voice. And so being home, I sing every day. I sing all day. I play music while I work, and I'd be singing. I'd just be jamming out. And because I've found, Christian music that I really, really love, I sing a lot of Christian music more than anything throughout my apartment. And I believe that alone is powerful because it allows God to come into my space. It allows His presence to overwhelm my space, which is what I want for my life, is what I want for my space. It's a sanctuary. Like, everywhere you go can be a sanctuary if you want it to. So, now that my voice is back, now that my voice is stronger, I want to use it to glorify God. Whether it's singing, in church, or recording a video. Getting comfortable doing that again would be awesome. Or singing with a group. One of my desires is to sing one day with Maverick City Music. Whether it's just a writing session or a recording session or something, I want to be able to go and sing and worship with them because their music has changed my life. So I would love that opportunity. This is not my audition video. I know it sounds like it's about to be, but it's not. But, my voice is powerful, and I have a desire to use it for God. That's really it. I want to write songs for Him again. I want to glorify Him, and that's what He's given me my voice for. That's what it's for, and I want Him to know that. I want Him to see that I appreciate it, and that I'm not going to use it for granted or take it for granted. So that's lesson number 7. Lesson number 8. It's okay to be honest, sensitive, and vulnerable. And I think 2021 taught me that in regards to every area of my life. I had some moments where I had to go deeper than what I wanted to, with different people. And it changed our relationships in a really beautiful way. And that's how I learned, that my story is powerful. That's how I learned that it's important to share those things with people. And so I want to continue doing that, but I believe that can be a superpower if you use it the right way. Your sensitivity, your vulnerability, and your honesty with people can really show other people how to open up as well. This goes into lesson 9. So I want to say that it's okay to be honest, sensitive, and vulnerable about school, about friendships, and about relationships. School-wise, right now, I'm pursuing my master's in healthcare administration, and I'm going to change my program to strategic communications. And the way that this all came about was last year I just had no motivation to continue in this program. I did a spring session, and then I took the summer off because I was like, I'm burned out from work, yeah, but also these classes, a lot of the things that I was learning were things that I learned in my undergrad, and it's great. However, it's not just stuff that I want to repeat. I know a lot about healthcare, and healthcare is a really big field, but it's also a business, and that's something that I don't desire to really be a part of because it's a corrupt business, if we're being honest. I've learned so much about the way that money affects different care and different services. So I'm ready to step out of healthcare soon. But for right now, I'm finishing up one course, and then I'm going to be able to switch into strategic communications. And I think that's going to be good for me because I already do a lot of content creation. I do a lot of social media work with different brands on different platforms, and I want to know how to use it properly and effectively. I did not get a degree in, public relations or media in college. I did community health and public affairs, which has definitely given me a step up. It's definitely, helped me get a step forward. But in regards to really understanding the methods and the technique of different platforms and algorithms and all the things, I want to develop that. So I think that switching my program would be an awesome way to do that. So that's, one honest truth that I'm facing and that I'm working through and being patient about. But I'm excited for when it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen this year. And then being honest about friendships and relationships. I'm coming to a place where I'm like, I love my friends, but there are certain friends that our relationship is not going anywhere, and I want to learn how to be honest about those relationships, whether it's just, saying no to them more and being honest about my no, or if it's, just having the opportunity to see myself as they see me, and letting them see me for who I really am. I don't know if that made sense, but in my head it does. I guess I mean, with certain people, I put on a persona of a different Gabby, and I don't want that to be the friendship that I hold with different people, that they get a different Gabby. I want everybody to get the same Gabby, and if they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, they don't. But there's certain friends that I just don't desire to even give them that part of me. I don't desire to give them more of me. I just kind of want to, close chapters. So I have to be honest with those relationships and friendships. If they come about in this year, I have to be honest. I really do. And I think it's good. It's hard, but it's important. Because like I said with lesson number 2, it's possible to have real friends again. And when you have real friends, you don't need a plethora of other friends. You want to keep the real friends. You can pray for other people, be there for other people, but it does not mean you have to hang out all the time and all these other things. I just feel like I'm not that person anymore. I used to be so sociable. I'm not her anymore. It scares me sometimes that I say no so often, but it's like, I've changed. I'm just not that person. So, I'm working on it. I'm working on how to be honest and vulnerable about that, but it's going to take some time, and I know that it'll work itself out. I trust and believe it. So, lesson number 10, challenge your thoughts, especially the fixed thoughts that prevent you from growing. Alright, so this lesson comes from a book that my family and I had read, going into this new year. It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and I highly recommend it. It's only 8 chapters. The chapters are a little lengthy, but they're full of examples, full of life lessons and real stories about different people who had to challenge their fixed mindset in order to get to their growth mindset. And so the difference between the two, fixed mindset, a fixed mindset person has these perceptions about their life that are fixed, they're stagnant, no other way. They can only go one way to get to a certain goal, and usually their goal is perfection, and if they don't make the perfection, then that's kind of it. They don't have any idea about, how they could get there using another route. Whereas a growth mindset person, they take, the failures, they take the downfalls, and they see them differently. They say, okay, how can I rework this to get to my goal? How can I go a different way to get to my goal? And through those methods, they're growing, their brain is growing, their mindset is growing, and they're getting better in different areas of their life, whether it's relationships, friendships, school. They're going to excel in a different way, and probably in a higher way, because they don't see a failure as the end all. They know that they could grow from that failure. So I'm trying to challenge my thoughts about that. I had to do that a couple of times towards the end of last year, because at the beginning of the year and throughout the year, I probably had a few different fixed obstacles and mindsets about things, and I did not overcome those things. I kind of just let it sit, and it was probably my podcast show, YouTube. Like, these are real examples right now. And so if I would have had a growth mindset about them, I probably, in the time, maybe in March, I'm trying to think what happened in March, and I can't think what happened in March, but when it comes to me, I'll share. But what had ever happened and made me pause and take a break from this, I could have restarted. I could have just said, okay, I stopped for a week or two, a month, however long I stopped. I could have just gotten right back up and kept moving and said, okay, so this happened, but I'm not gonna let this be the end all. So I had to overcome those hurdles, but reading this book helped me reflect on that in a different way, and helped me see what I could have done in order for me to grow. And so I'm happy that I'm back creating now. Like, I feel like this is part of my growth mindset. I easily could have just been like, yeah, I got this camera, I've got my ring light, I've got the microphone, I could do something else. I don't have to make more episodes, even though I want to. Like, I could have done a lot of other things, but I think my growth mindset is coming through and really encouraging me. Another area that I had to do this in was my job. I was fixed in the thought of, at the beginning of 2021, I said, okay, I'm over this job, I'm done, I'm leaving. And I think that was a fixed mindset, because I was like, there's no other way that I'm going to stay here. There's no other way that I'm going to attain my goal and get things done by staying in this job. And maybe it was just that I couldn't stay in that position, but I could stay at that job. And I'll share more about this a little later. Sorry, I had to check the mic, make sure it's actually on. But I got a promotion at the end of the year, going into this year, and I'm going to be paid at a much higher rate. I'm still at the same organization, which I'm okay with, because they're also paying for my school. And it's completely different than what I've been doing. So God came through. I had to wait. That's all. I had to be patient. My understanding would not have gotten it. So I'm grateful for his. But if I would have given up on the organization as a whole, I don't think I would have gotten this opportunity. I would have had to start all over again, which would have been okay. There would have been growth opportunities there. But the fact that I stayed, the fact that I continued looking internally, I did not give up and said, okay, maybe I can obtain this goal and hit this mark in a different way. That was my growth mindset. So I have to challenge my thoughts more often. Your thoughts have a lot of control over your next step. Your thoughts can hold you back, or they can propel you forward. So challenge them whenever they try to get in your way. Lesson 11. Listen. Sometimes you can't respond, or you won't know the response to give, and that is okay. Sometimes you just need to listen. I have learned this in my current relationship, because we're doing long distance, and he can't read my mind, I can't read his. We can't read our body language. We're not here physically together. So when we're having conversations on the phone over FaceTime, there's many times I want to butt in and say something, and vice versa for him too when we're talking. And at one point in our relationship, we made some ground rules about our communication styles, because we both have different communication styles. And one of the rules was that we will listen before we respond, and we will not cut each other off. And so I'm trying to apply that to all areas of communication, all areas of my life, whether it's work, school, friendships, different people I come in contact with, family. Just the ability to listen to someone helps them see you as someone who wants to help them. Listening to someone makes the person feel validated, makes the person feel that you actually care, and you actually are processing what they're saying. Because if you take what they're saying at 1 second and then you try to respond, you're not responding to the full thing, and you might not get the opportunity to listen to them again. They might just cut it there. So I'm learning how to listen better. I really am, and I'm excited that I'm going to be able to do it more often. I'm excited that I'm going to be able to do it and put it to foot more often, because it's important. It's very important. Lesson 12, stop sitting on your gifts and talents. So, this connects to music, singing, but also I learned in 2021 that I am an entrepreneurial, I don't know if that's a word, maybe. I'm a boss. I'm a girl boss, and I've always been this way since I was young. I had little businesses on the side, whether it was lemonade stand, or I had a card business at one time. I had all these different things. I think I even did I make candles at one point? I don't know. I could do that again. But I have those desires in my heart, and sometimes I feel like I've been overwhelmed with different gifts, because that's a gift. My music is a gift. My communication is a gift. All of these different things, they're all gifts. And I'm like, how do I use them all without getting overwhelmed? I don't want to get overwhelmed, but I want to use them, because they're God-given and they're blessings, and they can bless someone else. So I've learned, that I can't do everything at once. I have to be, kind of patient, but also divvy things up, and take my time. But, in October, I started a business. I launched a business, and it's called Angel Armor Accessories, and it's based off of faith. This is an accessory business based on faith. Faith is so important to me. My faith journey started in 2019 when I was still living in Long Island, commuting into the city for work. It was right after I graduated college. I was stressed out. I was tired. Every day coming home from work, I would probably, tear up a little bit in my car driving back to the house I was living in. And I was like, God, I have to have crazy faith. I have to trust you, and I have to know that you're going to get me through this situation. And long and behold, November 2019, so only a few months later, I was able to move closer to work. I had to give up my car, unfortunately, because the city is just crazy. But I was blessed. So I had to develop my faith and trust God. So the scripture that I held tight for this business, and I said will be the scripture for this business, is Psalms 91:11. And Psalms 91 is really the protection scriptures. If you read them all, it talks about, how God's going to protect you, and that no hurt, harm, or danger will come near you. So Psalms 91 is also special because it's a scripture it's a chapter that my grandfather always prayed. And he passed away when he was, I think, 91 or 92. So that makes it even more special when I think about it now. But Psalms 91:11 reads, "For he will order his angels to protect you wherever you go." And the story behind this, I'll share it in another episode, but I was on the phone with my boyfriend and we were brainstorming names, and he had written a note in his notes app, and he had written Psalms 91:10, which reads, "No evil will conquer you, no plague will come near your home." And so I just was like, let me go read Psalms 91. And so when I was reading Psalms 91, right after 10:11, I was like, angel. And I had already been thinking, like, I want the name to include something about angels. So that hit me, and I was like, okay, that's it. And then my grandfather, he's one of my greatest angels. When he passed, one of my aunts, I think, went and, you know, just collected a few items from his drawer. And in the drawer, I have it right here actually. In the drawer, he had this little piece of angel wings. I don't know if you can see it. And so I took this and I was like, I really want to keep this. So I've kept it for a few years now because it's special to me. So I was like, I need something about this business to dictate and to refer to angels. So then the fact that it was 91:11 was important to me because my angel number, I always see 111 or 1111. And one of my favorite scriptures is Hebrews 11:11, which talks about the story of faith. It was by faith that Sarah was able to have a child, even though she was too old. And it goes down the line. But then also 11:1 reads, "Faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see." And so I said faith had to be it. It had to be it. And boom, 91:11 talks about angels. So I said angel armor. And that's how it came to be. I'll further explain in another episode, another story, and I'll show you guys some of my pieces. Right now I make handmade phone charms, and I love them. They are so convenient, and here's one of them that we did for our winter collection. This one's Let It Snow. I don't know if it's gonna focus, maybe not. But it's just nice and easy, like you just put it on your hand. And I make longer ones too. I make ones for tablets, I make ones for cameras, I make ones for iPads. I make them all. And my next goal is to branch into phone cases. One of my friends gave me that idea. I want to do waist beads. I want to do all types of accessories. You know, maybe hair accessories, necklaces, bracelets, everything and anything. Because the fact that it's angel armor, it just gives me so much warmth because I'm like, okay, I love angels. My name comes from Gabriel, the angel in the Bible that brought Mary and Joseph, you know, their miracle story. And I love angel energy. And so that's something that I think like everyone should have, angel energy. Like they should embody the energy of an angel. And so if this is angel armor, this is a piece that you can carry with you to protect you. It's something that I've prayed over. It's something that God has given you to be a blessing to your life. So that's just how I feel about it. That's it. You know, that was long. Sorry, y'all. But I had to explain. Lesson 13. Whew, this is a hard one. You have a spending problem, but you know you have a problem and you want to get better, and you will. Y'all, 2021 was hard for my finances. There were a lot of things I bought that I should not have bought. There's a lot of things that I sold that were hard to sell because I should not have bought them in the first place, so I had to deal with the consequence. I sold a few pairs of sneakers that were like brand new. I sold my Doc Marten boots. And I'm being honest with y'all right now because if anyone else has a problem like this, maybe you won't have to go to selling. Maybe you will have to you know, maybe something else. Maybe I can stop you in your tracks now, but it was bad. I had struggled with my credit at one point too. It was just hard. And so I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be diligent, especially as I go into this new job. I'm trying to budget more. I'm trying to plan more. I'm gonna be better. I'm going to do better. Trust and believe. I'm telling y'all now, you have documentation of this, that I'm going to be better, okay? Okay, lesson 14. I feel like this is something that will resonate with other people. You long for an abundance of time and you won't always get it, but with the time that you do have, learn how to value it and be productive. Yeah, if I'm being honest, time is a scary thing. Like, we don't have a lot of time to do things that are important to us or things that we enjoy sometimes. And I feel like it's honestly, with the job that I have, I don't get much time in my day to just sit and like relax and kind of breathe until I clock out. And then even after I clock out, it's like, woof, I don't have much time in my day to go and do something else that I want to do. So with the time that I do have, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be productive. So at the beginning of this year, I did the Daniel fast, and instead of fasting a food or something, I tried to fast, you know, a little bit of social media in the morning, and also I did fast food from the time I woke up, or the time I laid down to go to bed, till 12 o'clock p.m., so noon. I would not eat, I would just drink water, and I would start my day with God. I would read my devotion, and if I was doing the plan through the church that I was using, I was doing Transformation Church's plan, the sauce, and I would, you know, read that devotion. I would listen to some music to start my day, and I would go in. I would do the day, and then noon would come and I would eat. And if I was on lunch, I would spend time with God. And it taught me a lot about time. It taught me how to use it wisely. It taught me how to use it purposefully, and to use it for His glory. And He then would give me the time that I needed to enjoy other things. So at the end of the day, I wasn't as burned out as I would be. Thinking back about it now, like today actually marks the end of the fast, and after work I would be happy to talk to people. I would be happy to spend time with people, you know, to get on FaceTime with my boyfriend and watch a movie. That's typical for us, but it was just enjoyable. Like, I was using my time properly, and I'm happy. But I'm learning that I'm going to have to do that a lot more this year. You know, I'm really pushing my social media. I am trying to be consistent with podcast, YouTube, business, work, like school, relationship. Like, it's a lot, but with the time I have, I'm going to use it. I'm going to value it. And sometimes that also means I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to use the time. But I'm just paying attention to time more and more nowadays, because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm trying to use it properly and productively. Lesson 15, your relationship with God is number one and you desire to protect it. That's a, whew, y'all. So this lesson might be long because 2021 was a year of like, okay, God, I'm listening. I hear you. I trust you. The church that I was going to in 2021 ended up being, unfortunately, corrupt. And I learned this in the fall, and it was hard to learn, and thank God my friends and I, we're all on the same accord, and about, when we left that church, we had to leave it, with God. We couldn't do more than, pray for the people that were continuing to go there, pray for the leadership, and that the correct actions would be taken. But I had, really, it took me a while to put my trust in that church and to actually develop a desire to go there on a consistent basis. And I think it was because my friends were there, that I would go. I didn't really love the music that much, if I'm being honest. It just wasn't feeding me, but sometimes the words would, the sermons, it was what I needed some days, some weeks. But before that all happened, April, my friends and I went down to Florida and visited the Florida campus, and that was an awesome experience. That's when I felt like, okay, this is it. This is the church I want to be a part of. This is the community I want to be a part of. And a lot of the people are so loving and so kind, and so it was a blessing to get to meet, a few different people during that trip. And then in September, I decided to get baptized, and I would never take that away from my experience with that church. I don't know if that made sense. What I'm saying is, I would never regret that or take that back. That was an experience that I needed, and that was a me and God experience. That was, nobody else touched on that. It was just me and God. So my baptism is not something that I would say, because I had it done at that church, that it doesn't count. Like, that's not, If my relationship with God was shallow, if my relationship with God was weak, I would let that get in the way. But because it's not, I was just so overwhelmed that day with just gratitude of what God has done. Baptism is so special, and when I was younger, I was christened. I don't think I was actually baptized. So to get in the water and to come out new and refreshed was just so needed, so beautiful, and I would not take that back for anything. But after we learned what we learned, I've, kind of separated myself a little bit more. I've isolated myself, and I'm trying to find, what to do next. I watch services online every Sunday, but physically going, I'm timid. I'm a little nervous. Like, it's not that I'm scared for the same thing to happen again. It's just, I want to be my true self in the next place that I go. And this means getting involved in the music ministry. This means, developing relationship with the people there, and forming community, and not being the shy Gabby that some people know me as. For some reason, I always, church was that place where I would be shy. Like, I would get small. I would get very small. And I think through last year, going to the church that I was going to, I was still making myself small. I wasn't involved in worship. I would be in the audience rather than actually participating or being a part of the ministry. And I don't desire to be small. I don't desire to not do anything. I want to be used. I want to, be used in the right place. So I'm just praying about that, and just, doing some soul searching there, and trying to find where is the next place that God wants me to land, and where He wants to use me. So just trusting Him in that. But I know my relationship with Him is special. I know it's number one in my life. So I'm just learning to protect it. And I think that's what I'm doing during this season, is just protecting it. Lesson 16. New York might not be your forever home. I'm not leaving New York so fast. However, I know that in order for my relationship to work, there's gonna have to be some compromise. I don't see him coming out here. I mean, who knows? We'll see. But, you know, I don't think it's gonna happen this year. But in regards to me, because even if he doesn't come out here, that doesn't mean I'm giving up on New York. Long distance is hard, but it's fun, honestly, and we're making it work, and it's worth it. But I love New York. I've been here since 2015 when I came for college. It's not that I've seen all of New York, because I would love to experience a few other boroughs and maybe live in another one of them, but I don't see myself living here for the rest of my life, and I'm coming to a conclusion about that is okay. I know, surprise, surprise. I've loved New York since I was little, but when you get older, things change. And so being here through the pandemic, I was like, okay, I love New York. Like, we're sticking this thing out. We're gonna be okay. At the same time, I was like, okay, New York, I'm tired of you. And I'm getting a little tired of it. Who knows where we'll go next? I'm not giving any confirmations or anything right now. Maybe the West Coast, maybe the Midwest, maybe the South, I don't know. But I'm just saying New York might not be my forever home, and that's okay. New York has given me some of the best years of my life, and I am grateful. But I know some of the next best years of my life might be in another state with other people. So stay tuned for that. Lesson 17, each downfall, the big ones and the small ones, can be used by God for your greater growth. I don't have much to say about that because it's just the truth. Let God use your failures. Let him use your hardships. Let him use you in where you are right now, to get you to where you want to go. But just let him use them. Lesson 18. Your creative mind cannot and should not be hindered, hidden, or ignored. I learned that through my business. I've learned that through this podcast, through YouTube. People come to me and they're like, Gabby, like, you're so creative. You work in healthcare, but then you also do this. You also influence. You also, you know, make really cool posts. Like, you do all these cool things. Like, how do you do all of this? And it's like, I can't make myself small in my creative realm. Like, my creative mind just keeps flowing, and if I was to ignore it, I don't think I would be healthy. Honestly, I don't think I'd be well. But my ability to tap into it every once in a while and to value it and to see it for what it is, it's fun. And that's where it comes back to this whole concept of time. It's like, how do I be creative and devote time to it while working full time, while doing all these other things? And it's just taking all those thoughts, making them captive, and giving them to God, because he's going to work it out. He's going to give me the time that I need to get things done according to his plan, and I have to just trust it. Like, I really do have to just trust and keep moving forward. I've been getting a little bit better. Like, every once in a while I'll see someone's video, a reel, a TikTok, and I'll be like, I could do that. I want to do that. And then I think to myself, why aren't you doing that? And so for the past few days, I've just been recording little clips of things, whether it's like I'm cleaning or organizing something. And I know that people would watch it and be interested in it. So put it together and present it. Like, that's all that I have to do. It does not take a lot of thought. It does not take a lot of effort. So I'm trying to do that more often. With my time. I'm trying to value it. I'm trying to use it properly. Number 19, you know how to hoard things and it's not healthy. Whew, yeah. it goes back to my spending problem. I have a lot of clothes is what I'm learning, and there's things I'm going to donate, but then there's also clothing that I want to sell. So I've been, working on getting things on Depop, Poshmark, Vestair, Collective, something like that. But I'm just trying to do it, and it's a lot. I have a lot. And I should not have all of this stuff. Some things are things I've just accumulated over the past few years. If anyone has a good idea of how to get rid of a bunch of t-shirts, please let me know. I guess I could donate those, but it's just a lot. So I have clean clothes and I'm like, I can't even put these into a drawer right now or a dresser because I have so many other things taking up their space. So I've got to learn how to do better and not hoard so much. It just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. We're almost there, guys. Okay, here we go. Lesson 20. Living alone is fun, but can get a little lonely at times, but it allows you to become honest with yourself and your individual problems and issues. It's true. Living alone is the best thing that you could do after living with people. If you've lived with people for like a few years, like try living alone and being honest. It'll take your relationship with yourself to a new level, and it will give you the opportunity to care for yourself in a new way. I think this is so true because my time living alone has been playing music as much as I want and as loud as I want, but also when it comes to cleaning, learning that I need to get on a better cleaning schedule. And I even said this to my boyfriend tonight. I was like, I think I'm learning what adulting is really about. It's about cooking. It's about cleaning. It's not really all there is, but some days that's all it does actually feel like, is about the prep of food and making sure that you're providing for yourself and you have enough to eat in the day and throughout the week. Just taking care of yourself in that way. I know for myself, I have a problem when it comes to keeping my space tidy and organized, because my life can be full of busyness. So some days I just don't feel like, putting things away, even when I need to. But I'm grateful that this environment and living alone has shown me that, because it helps me know, okay, yeah, you can get better. This is something you need to work on. And it's easy to work on it. It just takes some practice. It just takes some repetition of being organized, of being responsible. So yeah, living alone is so much fun. I would not trade it for anything except for living with my partner, which hopefully and prayerfully will happen one day soon. But, this is what it is for now. So lesson 21, I did not write anything because I said to myself, it's going to come to you when you're doing all of this. And, it was on the tip of my tongue. It was on my brain. I know what it is. So for this year, my 2 words that I chose were consistency and discipline. And I chose those words because I struggle heavily with consistency, which is something that I don't want to struggle with anymore. And I struggle with discipline in regards to, keeping myself on a set schedule, working out, eating well throughout the week. This year is the year of consistency and discipline for me. I'm going to be more productive. I'm not going to procrastinate as often. But I'm going to be realistic with myself, So I'm just going to work harder to be more consistent, whether it's creating content on a daily basis or reading, whatever it is. I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to be disciplined. And that is it. Those are the 21 lessons I learned in 2021. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As Told by Gabby is really just getting started, so buckle up. This is going to be a great journey. This story that I'm gonna share with you guys of life over the next episodes, I'm excited. And I'm just blessed and grateful that this is possible, that there's a way to share, you know, regardless of who's listening, regardless of who's watching, it's going to go somewhere. It's blessing someone. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'm excited to get this rolling again. It was time. It was time. It was so time. This is honestly therapy for me. This is kind of cathartic for me, a release of my energy and my creativity. So thank you for being here for that release and for this experience. I really do love you all, and I appreciate you all, and I'm praying for you guys. And if you have any video suggestions, anything you want to see, any episode suggestions, anything you want to hear, please let me know in the comment section below, as always. And feel free to subscribe, like, and share. Let this bless someone else if it has blessed you. Have a great day, a great week, and be blessed. See you next time. Bye. Woo, like a lesson 11. Listen. Okay, I'm done. Testing. Is this thing on? Hope so. Don't know if I want it zoomed in, zoomed out. I think this is good. Testing. Can you see me clearly? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see no obstacles in my way. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. All right. I can't remember if this is on or not, so I have to test it before I use it. So let's just make sure. So we're gonna start the recording. Hi, welcome back to As Told by Gabby. Now let's see if it actually plays. And I've got my iced coffee because it's like 9 p.m. and I did not take a nap today, and I really wanted to, but I couldn't. So it's okay. Coffee to the rescue. And I can't hear it because this is plugged in. So let's try unplugging the mic just to confirm that it actually worked. We're gonna start the recording. Hi, welcome back to As Told by Gabby. Sounds good. Now let's see if it actually plays. Alright, so if it worked, we're going to plug the mic back in, and we're going to actually do this now. So, mic is back in, which means when the light is flashing, it's muted, but when it's clicked on, I'm actually speaking, and it's recording my voice. Even if it doesn't record, it's okay because I've got the camera. And guys, it's like crazy that I have this camera, because I remember in one of my videos, like, if anyone wants to buy me a camera, that would be amazing. It would be an awesome investment into my journey. And for my birthday, I got a camera, so it was really cool. And now here we are, and we have better quality, and I'm gonna be doing more videos because of this camera and because of the investment that my family made into me. So it's very special. And you guys knew that I didn't have a camera before this, so here we go. Now you see I have a camera, and you can see I ain't playing around. I ain't playing. I ain't playing no more. Sorry. Everything's a little wiggly now. Okay. Our jitters are out. Little coffee sip is in. And we're gonna start a recording now.